It's finally here, my new Burton Step Ons, the 2021 season Step Ons, which are different than the Burton Step Ons that I had when I made my original Burton Step On video 5 seasons ago. I am so stoked today. I am trying the Burton Step On bindings, not the ones from like 1990 whatever, but the new ones that they've just come out with, as well as my 3 seasons with the Burton Step On video that you might have already seen. Today's video, we are working with the Burton Step On bindings. But the big question is, are they legit? Or are they just a novelty? If you have, then you know that I did a very extensive review on the original Burton Step-Ons, which are on both of those boards right there. These are the original Photon boots. Today I've got all this new Burton stuff in. I got the new 2021 Photon boots, and I got the new 2021 Burton Step-Ons with the different toe hook. Now I'm gonna make a couple of videos for those of you who have been curious about it and how these new ones compare to the old ones. In this video, I just wanna sort of go over initial impressions on what I think of the new ones, get them set up on my main board. This green and blue one you see right there, that actually is a design that I created, and it is for sale at the link in the description below if you are looking for a new board for the season. I really want to look and see if the toe hooks on the new boots are any different than the old ones, as well as what the real differences are getting in and out of these. So if you are interested in the Burton Step-Ons, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because all season long I am using these bindings. I've been using them for, this is my 5th season now. I've had nothing but great things to say. Let's go ahead and get these new bindings on and get our first look at them. Really, the first thing that steps out to me visually is that the toe hooks are completely different, but they are supposed to be backwards compatible. You can see the toe hook on the original is static, like there's no movement to it. You just clip right in. But the toe hook on the new one is like 2 pieces kind of. Supposedly for those people who had all this like pressure in the side of their boot, this gets rid of it, and I could see why, because they definitely push out. But everything else that I can see in the heel looks the same. Let's go ahead and get them put on. Take those old ones off first, and we'll put these on like an old rock board or something. So I have a powder board, this board, and speaking of powder boards, I just designed a part 2 of the Leviathan, the one that you just saw earlier, and it's going to be released this winter through Gilson's website for a limited run. It's a special board. It is so cool, and I cannot wait to get one in my hands personally, because that is the most fun powder board I've ridden, and I have ridden quite a few powder boards. I actually own the Orca, which is a lot of people's favorite powder board, and it's a fun board, but it's hanging on my wall, and I ride that one, the Fly, as my powder board. It does come with a leash, which is great. As you've probably seen in my other videos, they used to come in like this really cool bag, but not anymore. So when you're setting up a board, the disc has all these like numbers on it to show you the degrees that the angle your foot's gonna be, and if you look in the back, it's gonna show you that it's got an 8.5 up to a 10. All those settings are pretty important, especially the 8.5 to the 10, because that's what slides your footbed, and as you can sort of see, it's higher up here than down here, which puts pressure on your boot and keeps you sort of locked in place. So you wouldn't want this like at a 10 if you're wearing an 8.5 and vice versa. You want to try to size it for the right boot. I did find that messing with this on the older Burton Step-Ons helped eliminate some of that clicking sound you'll hear like on a powder day. However, supposedly these don't do that. This is the bag that came with the Step-Ons a couple of seasons ago. They also had a boot bag that came this way, and now they just come in a box. Another thing I've been doing recently, because I've been trying to get better at switch, it's really, well, it's goofy for me, and it's goofy feeling for me. One thing I did was I kicked my back foot angled to point behind me just a little bit more, so when I would flip around, it would actually be pointed a little bit more forward, which made it feel more comfortable, and it's made me become better at switch faster than when I had them both planted at the exact same angle. Don't know if it's the right way to do it, but it's working for me. And if you are practicing switch, I have had a couple friends try the same thing, and they've also agreed it's helped their switch riding immensely, like overnight. Now all these boots you see around me are all Burton Step-On boots. This is the 1st generation Photon boot. I got this pretty much right as they first released the Step-Ons. I did wear the hell out of these. These were a size 10, and I probably put like 200 to 300 days on the mountain. Blew that liner out and I needed a new liner. So I ended up getting a smaller liner to put inside, which gave new life to the boots because the shell is in perfect shape still. Then a couple seasons ago, I got the rulers, and the clips on these, the toe hooks, are the same as whatever's now on the Photon. And from a quick look, the toe clips look to be identical on all three boots. All the boots have a little clippy right here, and that is where you put on the leash. So if there ever is an issue, maybe you step out and you forget, or you're screwing up, or you're playing around, you don't get one of those torpedo boards, or God forbid, for some reason you don't latch in properly and you get on a lift and it falls off your feet. At least you have something to prevent it from giving you a felony charge, right? Looking at both of the Photon boots, it doesn't look like the design has really changed that much. The tread on the bottom is more aggressive on the new one compared to the old one. The liner is very similar, except it's color matched. The boots themselves look very, very similar. I have ridden in the rulers, which is their cheapest version of the Burton Step Ons, the Photons for years. I even had the Ions for a short little bit of time. They're all great boots. I find myself using the rulers quite a bit. They're a very easy to use boot, the one BOA system, and I find them to be a little more playful. It's definitely a higher quality liner in this boot than the ruler. The sole that's in the liner and the ruler isn't as thick and as nice as the one that's in the Photon. So if you get the ruler, you might want to for sure upgrade your soles in those. Now, if you are new to the Burton Step Ons and you're just now really starting to look into them, I'm gonna tell you that they're amazing. They're a game changer. There's a reason that I'm going 5 seasons using them and that I've got 3 pair now. These are all bought completely 200% out of my own wallet. I mean, there's a reason that right now all these other companies are starting to remake Step-Ons and copy this. I do think Burton sort of missed the wagon by not just licensing this technology to all the other makers so that K2 could have made the exact same one as well as whoever else, because then we would have had one binding for boots of all makers that worked together, just sort of like skis. Now real quick, I'm gonna show you how to step in and out, and then we're gonna go to the mountain in the morning. So to get in, you just put your heel in, there's a little channel, you slide it, and that's it. If you want out, there's a lever on the side, you pull it, pull your heel up. Oh wow, these are easier to get out than the old ones. And then you're in. I mean, your boot and your board become like one. You are like super in there. So I don't understand why people have such a hard time, except that maybe there is just that learning curve because you've never done it before. Let's go ahead and go to the mountain and check these out. We're gonna hit Keystone up right now. Whoa, here we are at Keystone to actually try the new Burton Step Ons out. And I just ran into something that just made my day. Take a look at this. 2 Leviathans for the price of 1. No, not really, but you can get yours below. I just finished my first run with the new Burton Step Ons, and I gotta be honest, they feel just like the old Burton Step Ons. The trippiest part is a mental thing with this binding, because you aren't strapped in and you're hanging your board on the lift and you're like, oh, I hope it doesn't fall off and hit somebody on the head. Besides that, it's pretty killer. I mean, you can ask Gina, she saw how quick I got strapped in. The only thing I noticed at all was they seem to be just a little bit easier to click into than the old ones. There's no powder, so I can't really check to see if that chatter is gone the way that the rumors say it is. But if you subscribe to the channel and you click that bell notification icon, I will be doing an updated video once the season really gets going about the Burton Step Ons and how they are in a powder day, sort of like that video I did right there a year or 2 ago. of things I'm noticing right off the bat. Feels like it's a little bit easier to get in and out. Out is still a little bit of a trick because they're brand new and there's a little wear-in period. They're just as responsive as the originals, which to me are more responsive than any of the strap bindings I've ever owned. I am still just as in love with the Burton Step-Ons as I was in that very first video with that extreme stoke that I had. If you missed it, it is gonna be linked right there or in the description below, hopefully. I have got an entire playlist on the Burton Step-Ons, and like I said, I've been using these things for years. I've helped so many other people with them, and they're not really that much more money than a regular boot and binding setup. So you might pay $100 more to get this setup than you would just a new set of boots and bindings, depending on which boots and bindings you buy, of course. If you do have more questions about the Burton Step-Ons, just let me know in those comments below, and I'll do my best to answer every single body's question, and maybe we'll do a follow-up video later in the season. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. I'm Sean Oz, this is the World of Oz, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And if you really want to help support the channel, wherever it is, the little Yeti stickers, those are in the description below. You can pick those up, different sizes, and slap them on all your fun gear. And if you do, tag me at Instagram or right there at Twitter, and I will include you in an upcoming video. Thanks again. I'll see you in the next one.